Welcome to The Last Word. Chris Popst. I'm David Jenkins, and Chris, we have playoff baseball.
Beaver.
Well, it's something.
It's beaver.
We're down to just 4 or 5 teams. So I guess 5 teams, one in each class. We've got Bell City in Class 1, Class 2, South Pem. Class 3, we've got Portageville, Class 4, Sikeston, Class 5, Poplar Bluff. They're all still alive. Chance to go all in the quarterfinals. Chance to go to the state Final Four. And by the time this airs, Bell City, South Pem, and Portageville will have all played. Portageville, they're kind of flown under the radar all year. They rolled through that district tournament. I mean, nobody even put up a fight really. I think they run ruled both. Both games were run rules.
Yep.
Scott City, I thought would. We talked about it. We thought they would win because of their experience, and Portageville just put 11 on them in the first inning and said, "No, that's not going to happen."
Yeah, they can hit. They can hit, and there has been kind of. Now I can't really speak on before me, but since I've been here, there's kind of been that trend down south, really, that those teams can really put up some runs. They can hit. Just some other areas that they just kind of falter with pitching and defense. But, man, they can really put some swings on the ball. And, I saw firsthand Portageville, they certainly can put some bats to ball. So, I mean, any time that you can have that as an advantage at a high school level, you're going to be successful. And Portageville, I think, is a prime example in that. But with them, they have the best of both worlds, really. They have some pitching, they have, hitting, they have defense. And I just think that they're one of a complete team, and like you said, they've kind of flown under the radar to those who hadn't really paid attention down south baseball. But man, I've really liked Portageville. I still think that maybe they are youthful. They still have some guys that they rely on that are young. But man, they've proved me wrong. They've showed up in some big moments and big plays, and they still kind of rely on their veterans, like just some guys that's been even in other sports. Ian Torrey's a big guy, a 3-sport athlete. Ryan Priggle, he's a 2-sport athlete that I know of.
Priggle made the big play in the in the sectional game, a diving catch there to end the game, saved some runs,
saved it from being tied up. So I mean that just experienced athletes, not maybe experience in that particular sport, but experienced athletes making big plays, and that's what you need at this time. And Portageville, hey, hats off to them. I say go win another one and go to state and see what you can do.
They played West County. This will be out on Thursday. They played West County on Wednesday. Check your local Standard Democrat, see how they did. West County is a good team. They play up there with a lot of the middle area schools up around that area, and there's some good baseball played up there. Bell City, they're back in it. They outlasted Orion. I believe it was 3-0 or something like that in the final. As we expected. They are a team that has been there before. They won 2 straight. They're looking for their 3rd straight state title. I see no reason that they can't go and get it. Again, their experience is going to pay them dividends all the way through.
I can't either. And when you have Austin Hicks, Cole Nichols, and those guys. I mean, who's going to stop them? Really, I don't see any team in their way that. It's baseball. You never know what's going to happen. Pitchers could have an off day, error here, pebble be in the way. Something could happen in any way. But man, Bell City is definitely the favorite to repeat. They just, like you said, they just have the experience. They have the arm, and they have 2 arms. Right. They can go out and win you a game at any time. And we've talked about it many times. Class 1 baseball. You're lucky to have one ace, and they have 2, and it's theirs to lose for sure.
And in South Pem, they won their district title, I think 190 to 175 or something like that. I think they set a state record for home runs in a game.
12 total home runs between
wind blowing out
wind blowing out at Bernie.
In a
all 3 of us can hit home runs.
Tiny little ballpark.
It is so tiny. If you've never been to Bernie's home park, you need to go. It's very tiny.
I can't believe they let them host a district tournament. I mean, just for the fact that ballpark is so small, and that brings so much more into play than a regular pop fly can go out. And when you have the wind blowing out, that's even a different story.
You get 12 home runs in a game.
Yeah, it's crazy. But South Pem outlasted that, and they won a defensive struggle on Monday. 3-2. So they move on, and they're one win away from. And they've had some success down there in the past. South Pemiscot in baseball, they're known to have a good baseball program, and wish them the best of luck as well. Hopefully they get the Final Four too.
Logan Damesworth pitched into that their last win against Twin Rivers, and I saw him during the summer, and he's got a pretty good arm. He can really hum it, I think, and he's still young too. I think he might be just a junior, maybe
so.
a sophomore. I he's still kind of, I say young junior, but I don't think he's a senior. But anyway, but yeah, I don't know what they have in front of them. It's funny because once you get in baseball, our knowledge kind of about the teams around isn't really as it's not as out as other sports.
You're right. Basketball, football, we've heard about them. We've heard about them for a long time. But baseball, you don't know anything about them. Even your top teams, you really don't know anything about unless they're just a super dominant team. And there's not many super dominant teams this year. So when we're talking about these teams, we don't know a lot about them. And I don't think the teams that are playing them know a lot about them. You see the stats, you talk to other coaches, but it's not a well-known thing. Unlike in basketball, when you go and play somebody in the quarterfinal, you know about them.
Yeah.
And you don't have to have a whole lot of scouting because you already know. So,
speaking of not knowing,
right? Sikeston rolls in their sectional game. They squeaked out a win against Notre Dame in the district championship. A game that they could have won 4 or 5 different times that they finally pulled out. It's learning to win. You have to learn to win, and this is a group that's learning to win. I think they've got to close out games better. They had a chance to close out Festus on Tuesday with a couple of runs, but they gave up a couple of runs there in the 6th, had to go 7, which burns more pitches for Gilmer, who's their ace, and pretty much takes him out of any consideration at all on today's game in the quarterfinal. So you hate that, but they're learning to win.
Yeah, maybe kind of sketchy at times. You mentioned the Notre Dame game. Just a fantastic ending. Very exciting game between that, and you knew it was going to be going in with Sikeston and Notre Dame. But yeah, I mean, they would go up with a 3-run lead in the 7th and give up 3 runs, just bam, and you could just see it coming. And it's just kind of one of those things that kind of plagued them, and now they can go off and just blow teams out and get almost. And I know you say, well, they won by 9. Well, that's a big win, but when you're closing games out, that's just. That's the thing in baseball. You got to get those 3 outs, and I think we just had a conversation, before we taped this. That could definitely come into play these next possible 3 games that they have. Definitely the next one, and maybe 2 more after this. But closing out games, because once you get to state tournament, you're gonna have closer games as you get further ahead, and especially when you get to that state tournament. I haven't seen many blowouts in that area. So I mean, they just got to learn to shut the door when they can and just put the hammer down. And they seem to have runs leak out at the end of games. And you can't do that. When
you can put a team out, you put them out. Yeah. And they haven't had that ability to do that yet. They're going to play Lutheran South here in Sikeston. It's a 4 o'clock on Thursday.
Big. I think it's big.
That's huge. Home. That's huge. They play very well at VFW. Lutheran South comes in. They're 21-8-1. They played a really tough schedule. They started their season in Florida. How awesome is that? We're going to go to Florida and play in a tournament. Tough schedule.
Private schools are pretty awesome.
Yeah, they speaking of private schools, they played Notre Dame earlier this year. They split with them in a doubleheader. I think they won 6 or lost 6-5 and won like 5-2 or something. But they split with Notre Dame, so they're very comparable to Notre Dame. So that's already an eye opener. It's going you think makes you think it'd be a really tough game. They're very balanced offensively. They have 7 players with 15 RBIs or more, so you can't just pitch around a couple of guys. I mean, they hit up and down the lineup. They don't hit home runs. They've only had 8 all year. 2 of them were in their sectional game, but they steal a lot of bases, 51 steals. And Sikeston has had trouble behind the plate at times, catching the ball, throwing the ball. I mean, it's they're a team that you can steal on. And so that's kind of something you have to look at if you're Lutheran South.
Yeah, and I just actually peeked at the Sikeston's stats today, and I think I could be wrong, but I think there's only 3 players that have above is in the double digits in RBIs. So they really rely on just a couple guys: Mackenzie Worth, Bryce Bays, Sam Cox just creeped over the 11 RBI, I think, against Notre Dame. So or a couple games before that. But anyway, they kind of rely a lot. Driving runs in, just a couple guys in the middle of that lineup, and then the top of that half of that lineup can make things happen. Bottom half, you kind of get you can get some production out of them sometimes, but they're not like a Lutheran South. It seems to me like 7 guys of 15 RB. That's some production through the lineup.
7 guys, and their leader has 23. So there's there's a lot of big bunch of numbers right there that and they score some runs, and they have 4 guys who hit over 300. Sam Lombard, it's 349. That's a pretty good clip. They just hammered St. Mary's 10-0. They put them away. Their ace pitcher only pitched 5 innings. I'm not sure how many pitches, but you would think he's got some pitches left over for the game. I'm sure they're going to start Austin Cheeley. He's 4-0 with a 2.05 ERA, 44 strikeouts to 14 walks. So he's got some pretty good numbers. If he's a junk ball type pitcher and throws a lot of breaking stuff and some off speed, that's going to cause Sikeston more problems. They can hit the fastball. Anybody who comes in here thinking that they're going to just blow fastballs by the Sikeston Bulldogs are mistaken, because Sikeston can hit the fastball.
And they've always been able to hit the fastball.
From the time I've been here, 20 years, they've hit the
always
fastball.
Been able to hit the fastball. They did that today. They just jumped all over Festus, and it just, you got to know who you're playing, and I'm sure Lutheran South had a few guys down here tonight scouting that, but yeah, anytime Sikeston has struggled hitting the ball, it's been with these slow junk ball pitchers, and that was never more evident than their SEMO Conference Championship game against Poplar Bluff. They have Ronan Rice. I think I threw faster than that guy, but man, he just slow junk ball lefty pitcher, and it befuddled them. If they come with a guy that can just hum it, I think Sikeston got a shot. I really do, because their offense is really peaking right now. I think they're seeing the ball well. They're having good approaches at the plate. So it's just a lot kind of rests on their defense and Wyatt Pratt, obviously. And barring any kind of huge surprises, Wyatt Pratt is going to get the start Thursday against Lutheran South. So he pitched a big game against Notre Dame, in line to win that until they gave up the 3 runs. But it's big. We don't really know too much about Lutheran South other than numbers, but it's just you got to play your game, and if you're at your home field, so
Festus came in today. They didn't have a very good record. I think they were 10-9, just a little bit above 500. But Sikeston, again, like you said, the approach. They're big about the approach, and their approach today was hit the fastball to right center, and they hit it over and over and over. Sam Cox started off with a home run to opposite field home run. Which is, you don't see that very often, especially from high schoolers. You don't see an opposite field home run, and he did. He went opposite field over the right field wall, and that kind of got them started, and they just never stopped. It was just a good offensive performance. But yeah, if you have a guy that can throw fastballs and think you can just throw fastballs by Sikeston, that's not the approach that you want, because Sikeston can hit the fastball. The teams around here know that. Just Lutheran South, we don't know. I don't know this. He has only 44 strikeouts. Their ace of their team has 77. So maybe he doesn't throw as hard. I don't know. Like I said, we're just looking at numbers, so we don't really know. Speaking of Poplar Bluff and Ronan Rice, they survived on a balk. A balk. They win on a balk.
Winning run. They won 2-1 over Rockwood Summit. Apparently, it's their first state playoff win in baseball.
Good for them.
Obviously, outside of districts, you get into state play.
Good.
Apparently, it's their first one.
They've not had a lot of success in baseball. They just, it just hasn't happened. They haven't had a lot of district success. I think it'd been a long time since they'd even won a district, if I'm not mistaken. And for them to get a win, and in Class 5, Class 5's tough. Class 5's tough, and so they'll move on, and we're not sure who they play right now, but they'll move on and they'll play a team that's good for sure, because in Class 5 there's no slouches. No. But Poplar Bluff has been playing really well. We talked about it at the last show. They're just playing really well. They play excellent defense. They have some good arms. And they hit the ball. So they have everything that it takes to advance, and we'll see how they do in Class 5 with some very good baseball teams.
Yeah, and the SEMO Conference Championship game, I saw them. Like I said, if they play like that, they got a great shot. I don't care who they play. I know it's Class 5, but they play like that. They get the pitching and the defense. That hitting can be suspect at times, but hey, got to just score more than they do.
If you can pitch the ball, if you can catch the ball, and you can hit the ball, you can be pretty good. So
you can be.
That's the key
Words
to
of wisdom.
Key to baseball right there.
Yes. It's pretty easy to say.
That's right.
Pretty easy to say, not so easy to do.
Yep. But that's it. That's our baseball our baseball preview. I guess for the for the quarterfinals. It's what we know. But hey, if anybody else knows more, we'd love to hear it.
Yeah.
I
challenge you.
Yeah.
To know more than us. But anyway, I had some great state track finalists last weekend. Charleston, the boys came in third. Canary Sanderson won a state championship. Had a couple others. Not going to list all of them because there was a lot, but just a great showing all around for our area at state track. And this weekend we got some more going to state from the larger schools, the Sikeston, East Prairie.
Always some good track athletes from this area. Always that go up there and do very well.
And it's not really that big around here, to be honest with you. We have great showings, we have great teams, got super athletes, but not at every school just the top-notch athletes go out for track.
Right.
And I think that they could do better than that. But I mean, that's just a lot of schools that I think could even just as good as they are doing. I'm not saying that they're not doing great because they are, but they could be even doing better. But for some reason, track and field just doesn't really catch on around here like it does in the bigger cities.
Do you like to run when you don't have to?
I hate running.
There we go.
Obviously.
There
But I
we
mean,
go.
hey, I like to throw things. I mean, that's
you can
part
throw
of
a
it.
shot. Yeah, you can throw a
I
shot.
like to throw things. I can't jump.
I ran track my senior year, and even if you're throw things, they still have you run before you go
Really?
throw. So yeah. So
See, I didn't come from a track school, so I don't know. They make you run even if you're a thrower.
I know they did at our track school. You'd have to run a few laps before you could go throw your little throw the shot put and the discus. So I had some friends
That
that
just
threw
seems
it.
counterproductive to me.
No, I mean if you're gonna run, right? I mean,
Yeah,
but
I mean, I'm not. You don't have to. It's not running. You're throwing.
you got to get loose, I guess. I don't know, but yeah, everybody had to run. Everybody had to run before they went to their work on their specific event.
I
So
get it. But hey,
I don't know if it's that way everywhere, but that's just that way. Of course, that was 50 years ago, back in when we used to play on concrete tracks or run on concrete tracks, and
you didn't have it's dirt, right? You just had to
no, we had concrete. It was
really
right.
It just came out.
It just came out.
Oh,
It was actually blacktop. It was actually blacktop. It was a blacktop track, but with some lines painted in it. It was awesome. Yeah, I ran the hurdles. Wasn't fun to fall on.
I bet not.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know. I just assume that I don't know. I think there should be more athletes go out for track. I don't know. I like watching track. I think they do things that I can't do, and I like watching people do things that I can't do. It's impressive to me. So there you go.
And tennis, we have Sikeston tennis player going to state. First one in quite some time.
First one, I believe,
in
since
10 years?
2008.
9 years? Close.
2008, 2007. I can't quite remember. I think it was 2007.
9 or 10 years. It's been a
It
while.
was 2007, 2008. I know that.
So congratulations. Very kind of surprising. The team didn't win a match, as far as a team-wise goes. But you have some individual success in tennis, and
Brett Johnson. He won. He routinely gave them their one win in a match, but they went winless throughout the whole year. But he's going to state. So there you go.
Good player, and wish him well at state. And to all the seniors who have graduated, congratulations! I came from graduation tonight, so learn all about why making the bed's good. So.
We're losing some. I never made my bed, and I feel like I'm pretty successful. Love you, Matt Tanner. But yeah, we're losing a lot of good seniors this class for athletic purposes, and we wish them well. And just I know it comes off every year. You graduate, but do not let high school graduation be the best thing in your life.
Right.
Do not let these high school accolades be the best thing in your life. Do something, do better, raise a family, do better than high school. That's
please,
my only thing.
Please make this be a springboard.
Yes,
because so many times we see that people talking 20 years from now, that was the highlight of their life was their high school athletics. Please let it springboard you into success in other things, business, family, other things.
Absolutely.
Please.
Very happy for your accomplishments. Couldn't be prouder for you, but let this not be it.
This is just step one on to the rest of it.
Exactly.
And with those just
Words
great words of wisdom,
oozing of wisdom around here.
we will sign off,
Yes.
and we'll see you in a couple of weeks on The Last Word.